So we have this idea of what we want out of this life or who we want to be in this life. But that's just it. It's just an idea. So that's what we are going to talk about in this brief video. We will also do a special kind of card reading to give you some prompts towards the end of this intro, and I'll explain that when we get into that. So basically, there's a big difference between having an idea about what you want out of life and then knowing what you want out of life. Two totally different things. And most of us typically have this basic idea of like what we want out of life. We have this idea that we'd like to be secure, we'd like to be in a loving relationship, we'd like to have a good career, a lot, the list goes on. We have this idea of what we want, but again, there's a difference between that and then really knowing what your idea is. So it's basically looking at it in the form of defining more succinctly what we are aiming for. So we set goals, and we make proclamations of change. I'm sorry, I'm glancing at my notes so that I stay on topic here. But, do we know our goals inside and out? That is what I'm really trying to drive in here. So if you are not feeling successful towards these goals, or these ideas about your life, then, most likely, you're probably not really knowing them inside and out. And that's what, I really want to hit home tonight and talk about, also. So, let's take a look at, we'll give like a relationship as an example, like a loving relationship. Like a lot of times people want, that perfect romantic partner or their soulmate, something along those lines, or possibly you're in a current relationship where you just wish it was more soulmate flowy, that kind of thing too. So either, regardless of the situation, but most, a lot of people, especially on this channel, they're looking for love and those types of things. So that's the thing of where, these are kind of two different things I'm going to put into this video, but they work in tandem with each other. So a lot of people are familiar with manifestation. They write out their list, what would be an ideal partner to them, loyal, successful, good looking, I don't know, whatever your list may have, right? Most people follow along those lines. Security almost always makes that list, in some form or fashion. So that's where we got to really start knowing these things, because you can make that list all day long, of those things that you want in your partner. But it's a matter of, as I always say, like begets like. So we're writing down these things of what we would want because we feel we are those things. But are we really those things? That's where we're getting here, because like begets like. So let's take security as an example, if that is something that's on your list. So let's just throw out a crazy scenario here. Let's say that's on your list. You want a secure partner. Okay, so let's just say, the next day, you're at the grocery store or what have you, and you meet this most amazing, if you're into men, let's just say it's a man. You meet this amazing man, total stud, has got it going on, good looking, as you get to know, you find out, oh my gosh, he's got a great career, super successful, seems like he'll be loyal, secure, all those things that are checking your click boxes and all that, but he's like devastatingly good looking. So like the type that walks into a room and turns heads type. Okay. So remember, security is on your list. Okay. And so let's say you've met this person. Are you truly, if you're very, very honest with yourself, are you going to feel secure in this relationship? Because if this guy is like turning heads just, walking down the street or going into the grocery store or what have you, and women are just like, mouths agape, because he's really super good looking or something like that, are you going to be secure with that? Or are you going to have inner fears of like, oh no, maybe I'm not going to look good enough for him, or maybe I'm not going to to present well enough for him after a while, or, the novelty will wear off. You may get all these like insecurities about, oh my gosh, of course they're going to find that other woman way more attractive than me. So you might be running this like dialogue in your head. So this thing that you've asked for, that you've put on your list, like you want secure, you want a secure man. Well, are you secure? So like really, and people say, oh yeah, I'm good with that, and think, but no, you really, really, really got to think of these things, because the way we treat ourselves is what we are going to get back. That's what we are going to attract, because again, like begets like, love begets love. So this is where, you hear a lot of talk about self-love. Self-love. It's everywhere. And, when you just kind of hear it on the surface, it means, okay, yeah, I love myself. But do you really spend time in understanding like what the core of that means? Because it truly, it's very simple, but how many of us really understand that truly means we really have to love ourselves. So it's like, once we can kind of be in that energy, that's what we're aiming for. Because again, I'm going to keep repeating, love begets love, like begets like, all those types of things. So, that example is a good thing, like on your list. A lot of people think we are certain things, or like you want somebody who's successful, that kind of thing. Well, are you successful? Do you consider it, like, truly, when you truly break it down and you're extremely honest with yourself, are you successful? Do you feel like you have made an absolute success out of yourself? Because again, you're going to draw in what you feel about yourself. So that's, again, where the self-love comes in. So let's say, if you typically attract men, that cheat or something like that. So does that mean that you're a cheater? No, that's not where I'm going with this. But it does mean that you most likely treat yourself like you cheat yourself out of things. So it may not have nothing to do with like a marriage or anything like that. But let's say you have somebody who's like married and they're a cheater, or what have you, but you're the person they're cheating with, and like you're waiting. Oh my gosh, are they going to leave their wife? Are they going to leave their wife? Well, that's procrastination, right? So that person is procrastinating. They're not leaving the wife. They're dragging this along, that sort of thing. So that tells you right there, bingo, there's something that you are doing to yourself that is procrastination. You are procrastinating against something. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you yourself are in the exact same situation where you're in a marriage and you're procrastinating leaving that marriage. It may have nothing to do with romance whatsoever, but in some area of your life, you are procrastinating with yourself. So thus you are drawing in, because like begets like, someone who is procrastinating leaving their marriage, to be with you. So those are the things that we really, really have to look at. And, when we're making these lists, or, we're wanting these goals and those types of things, that's definitely something to start working on. And why that kind of goes with the first thing that I was talking about how we need to like know our idea of like what our goal is in life and things like that. Not just have an idea of it, but know our goal, because those two work together. And you'll see that if you start working with both of these energies, you'll see how. All right, so I highly suggest, pen and paper, always the best method, I think. I mean, use your iPad notes, whatever, you feel comfortable with. There's something about pen to paper, though, that I feel, oftentimes is a lot more just flowy rather than typing. But that's just my preference, or my suspicions about the situation. But I highly suggest just getting a notebook or two or three, just a plain dollar notebook at Walmart, whatever, Target, and or 50 cents, whatever they are, and getting a few of those and really start working on these things and defining them and narrowing these things down. Okay. All right. So what we are going to do is I am not going to do like a tarot reading for like each sign. What I'm going to do is I am going to do 12 different readings. Okay. So you can correspond it to your zodiac sign if you want. So for instance, like Gemini, which is the third, would would be like pile 3. You know, if you want to go that route, you can assign the astrology to it. But what I'd like you to do is think of different areas in your life before you continue on, like pause the video or what have you. You could think of 12, up to 12 if you want, but you know, most people work, career, love, family, whatever, you know, think of those types of things where you might need like some sort of prompting, you know, card that will kind of help you to get started on like what to work on, you know, what to start writing down. So for instance, like if you want a card for career, like something that will be a good guide or a good prompt for you or something along those lines, you might pick number 7, okay, for career. And if you want a card for romantic love, you might pick number 2, something along those lines. All right. But they will also have the energies of the sign. So don't worry about that. I will put that into the comments so that you can read about that. All right. But that's what we're going to do tonight. So I'm not going to go like Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and so on. I'm going to just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. And we're going to make this very short. These are just going to be short prompt cards to think about in, you know, so for instance, like if you pick career, you know, again, which was, I think 7 or something like that, whatever card I pull out here, like the word on here will be something to help think about a little bit deeper in reference to that. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And we are going to start with the number 1. So if you chose number 1, it's basically like a pick a card reading. Okay. All right. If you chose number 1, what is the card for you? The prompt for pile 1, please. Okay. So you have growth, and there's a little mantra on each of these. You can snapshot that if you want to keep that on your phone. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. So very much about, that's a good mantra to say. That's a really good one to say throughout the day. I want to, or actually I would even change the wording a little bit. Instead of I want to, I would probably change the wording personally to something like I am expanding my consciousness and my awareness in every way, every day, every moment, you know, something like that. I would probably change the mantra up a little bit, but I like the initial prompt of it. I think that aiming towards that such a thing is great. Plus, one grows when you do expand your consciousness and your awareness, because by expanding your consciousness, you are going to, like via meditation or just silence and things like that, you're going to allow things to, you know, that awareness to come through so that you recognize it. But when we're cluttered, we're not going to recognize those signs, you know, that source sends us and things like that. So I think that's a really good card for you. Okay, so let's go to number 2. Number 2, please. Number 2. Okay, and you guys have humor. Okay, I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. Beautiful card. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. So perhaps just bringing more humor into things. I mean, there's nothing better than humor. I can think of like even like really, 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 really dark times in my life where something very tragic has happened, or, you know, something along those lines. And it's like, it's amazing that even through that, sometimes we can still find something to laugh about or smile about, or, you know, even if it's a crazy, like hysterical thing, you know, like I'm flashing back to, you know, like when I lost my husband. It's like, oh my God. I mean, tragic, right? Tragic energy. I just was in a daze, right? But there, you know, I just remember, I don't know exactly what it was, but there was something, I don't know if I, you know, possibly saw it on TV, or if it was a friend who said something to me, or something like that. And of course it wasn't that day of, but it was like the next day or something along those lines. And it cracked me up. Maybe it was a little hysterical, you know, or a little crazy woman laughter, you know, coming from myself. But it's like, I'll never forget that, you know, I was able, you know, still to laugh in the midst of something horrible like that. So it's very, very important. It's very healing. And it is an amazing part of life to bring this aspect into things. Plus, I like what it says. So not only only is it about humor, but it's also choosing to focus on the lighter things in life. Things don't have to be so freaking serious all the time. It's very good to bring in, other aspects of things. Okay, number three. Number three, please. What do we have for you guys? Number three. Three. Okay. You have gratitude. I am thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. So incorporating more gratitude. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm covering it up with my finger, aren't I? Go ahead and snapshot that if you want to be reminded of this. Keep it on your phone, something along those lines. So I am thankful. This is a good mantra. I am thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. Okay, because that's kind of in the present tense. So I like that one. I think that works. I often talk about gratitude in ways that, we don't always think about, even just the little tiny things like this candle that's sitting here. Okay. It's like, I can remember times in my life where it's like, I couldn't even like get something like this. It's like, I've always admired beautiful things and I have a good sense of like aesthetics and all that kind of thing. Well, not always could I walk into the grocery store and buy a $12 candle. Sometimes I had to buy food, and I didn't have extra $12 to buy a lavender and cedarwood candle. So it's like even something as simple as this, it's like to like really like feel the energy of like what it feels like to be able to have the freedom to buy certain things in your life, or to be able to call a certain person in your life, or any of those types of things that like when we really feel that energy, that's the gratitude. It's not just saying like, oh, I can afford a $12 candle. No, it's about like, what does that feel like? It feels good. It feels good because it's easy for me because I have a time when I can remember when I didn't have something. So, pick something like that to start so that you can really like feel the energy more. Okay. Number four. Okay, what do we have for number four? Okay. So you guys have relationships. I am attracted to those people who serve my highest good. Okay, so that is a great, excellent mantra. Let me hold that up. You can clip out my, crop my hand and keep that on the phone. That will be a good card to keep an eye on there. I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. Now, this can be in all forms, romantic, just any type, friendship relationships, all those types of things, co-worker relationships, all that. So I think this is a fantastic card. I would say, too, this kind of goes into the intro, what we were talking about. So if you want to attract those people who serve your highest good, then you need to serve your highest good to yourself first. Okay. Let's see. Number five. Fives. Okay, five. What do we have for you? Five. So you guys have, wow, okay. 3 cards that came out. Okay, so, So the first 2, you have guilt and doubt. Okay, and then we'll get to the last one, which is really what your mantra should be. Okay, so guilt, it says, I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. So resisting things, releasing things, that don't help you in any way to get higher. Okay. And guilt would absolutely be one of those. Guilt does not serve any purpose in the sense of like, there's nothing like, oh, wow, if I have a bunch of guilty thoughts, I'm going to get higher, on the totem pole, no, so definitely let go of those, release those. You also have doubt. I release the need to know all the answers. And that is such a tough one. We think it's easy, but it's really not. So I'm going to hold both of these up so you can snapshot these if you want to see what they say for yourself. Okay, so especially I release the need to know all the answers because, especially with tarot, because I read tarot mostly, so it's, the reason tarot is popular is because people want that control. They want to know the answers. They want to know that what they're putting effort in isn't for naught, or they are uncomfortable with the unknown, so they want to. There's something very attractive about the mystery of that possibly this could be your answer or something like that. So there's that side of the coin too. So it's usually one of those two reasons that people watch tarot. But it's like releasing the need to know the answers is a beautiful thing, because it's like, has anyone in history, in all of history, ever really known all the answers? I mean, maybe, but we don't know them. They didn't tell us. If they do, that would be the wise ones. They probably just keep that to themselves, because how could they tell us the answers, right? So I think that that's a really good thing to do. And this comes in along with your other card, which is trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. Perfect. So as I was using tarot as an example of releasing the need to know all the answers, because that's the thing, tarot has in the tarot world, it can go a couple different ways. I mean, when we're talking old school tarot readers, they're there to read the future. That's the old school way. But the more new school way is to use tarot as more of a prompt, or more of a tool, and those types of things. But let's face it, there's still, this part of us that wants the answer. So it's like releasing the need to know all the answers, and then accepting that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. Your inner voice, yours is the one that will, trust that it will guide you correctly. Don't put faith in somebody else, and I'm shooting myself in the foot, but I mean, it's true. Don't put and I'll say that. I say that in personal readings all the time. It's like, don't put your faith in the tarot reading, put the faith in you. Okay. Let's see. Where are we now? Oh, what number was that? 5. Okay, 6. If you chose 6. 6. The number of harmony and balance, 6. What do we have for pile 6? What is the message for 6? Okay, thank you. Oh, you got 2 as well. All right. Friendship and regret. Interesting. Okay. So regret is first. Okay. And it says, I know that I cannot change the past. I know that I cannot change the past. And then you have friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. Okay. So, and you have happiness at the bottom of the deck as well. So some of you may be going through like a friend zone thing with this pile, or something along those lines. You do have happiness here, and honesty also is next. But it's like, just no need to, regrets are what they are. They're not going to serve anyone. It's kind of like what I was talking about with guilt, by holding on to it. So it's like, I know that I cannot change the past. You can't. You can't change the past. You may regret it, all those things, but you can't change it. So move on. Release it. Okay. Learn from it. That's key. Learn from it, but release it. And it's like, possibly you just need to be like with a friend right now, or rebuild a friendship. That could be also. All right. Whoops. Okay. Which I feel, with happiness, you definitely have a good chance at that. All right, where am I at now? 7. Okay, 7s. Highly spiritual number if you chose 7. 7. What's the message for 7s? Okay, worry. I am learning that worry does not change the outcome. Good. Very good when to keep this on tap as well. Keep that on your phone, snapshot that. I am learning that worry does not change an outcome. And patience is at the bottom of the deck as well. So that makes sense. So I do feel like you guys need to have patience with a situation, have patience with yourself, all those types of things. Worry is one of those things that I really have like deeply thought about, like what possible good purpose it could serve. right? Because even everything, you know, something, even like regret, you know, has a purpose, or guilt, you know, has a purpose. Things like that. Worry, I mean, you know, instead, I mean, I guess possibly, you know, bringing us into empathy, or something along those lines. But really, as far as for yourself or for your highest good or highest self, I can't think of a single positive thing about worry. I mean, there's natural worry, which is common sense kind of, or as I say, uncommon sense kind of worry, sure. But, you know, this is someone, I feel like this is more energy of someone who is just constantly in that state. So if you're constantly in the state of worrying about things, what is that possibly getting you at all? Like, what in the possibility of, you know, the world could that have anything good to bring you? At all. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, absolutely, you know, you are learning that worry does not change an outcome. Okay? And patience at the bottom of the deck, which says, I accept that everything happens in divine order. Wow. Yeah, I'm going to hold that up too, because that goes very well. That should be the mantra right there. That should be the one. So if you are in that position, this is very good advice. Okay. Oh shit. What number am I on? 7. Oh, 8. 8. Okay. It's harder to remember the numbers than it is the astrological signs. Okay. So we are on 8. Okay. What do we have for 8s, please? If you chose 8, well, there you go. Imagination. Okay. Sorry, that was my SpongeBob SquarePants interpretation. Okay, imagination. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. All right. Beautiful. Sorry, let me get that so it's not blurry. There we go. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. You have fear at the bottom of the deck, which says, I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. Beautiful. So definitely I'm getting the sense here, and I do see the green of the heart chakra as well with the purple, you know, color, you know, more wisdom and things like that, or more the ethereal planes and all of that good stuff. So yeah, pretty self-explanatory there. Just that's a very good mantra to use, that you embrace and nourish the creative aspect of your mind. I would assume that those of you who picked this pile are probably very, very creative. You may be the type that is afraid that you're not creative, or, you know, ever, or at this time, or, you know, something like that. But no, I think that you need to embrace and nourish that part of your mind, your soul, and everything else. Don't let fear get in the way and block things. And you have perseverance here as well, and self-esteem. So yeah, I feel like many of you have a lot of creative energy right now that you are letting, like, fear and self-esteem and possibly lack of initiative with that perseverance card here to hold you back. So when I think what you really just need to do is just quiet the mind and just go those, like, crazy places a little bit. You know, there's always, like, this weird little fine line in the mind that you don't want to cross, you know, but you can take it to the edge, you know. And I feel like some of you guys need to take it to the edge a little bit and get a little bit out there with things, you know, and really allow that to come through. Okay, let's see. Number 9. Number 9, please. What do we have for 9s if you chose 9? What is the prompt for 9? Keyword, something like that, for 9. Okay. You have balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Very nice card. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Let's see. Yeah, interesting. Envy is at the bottom of the deck as well. So yeah, interesting. So yeah, I would just say bring anything that you can do to bring more balance into your life. This is a good mantra to state. That's why I hold these up so you can snapshot them and maybe tweak the wording a little bit to fit you. But they're guides that that can kind of lend you towards energy that might be hiding underneath the surface for you. So I think that's really good. A really good card. Just doing especially the doing so without judgment. That's the difficult part. And it's always difficult for all of us human beings. Okay, if you guys like this, could you please thumbs up? And also, as always, I love to ask if you could leave a message on the actual video itself, not just in the chat. That doesn't count as much, but like on the actual video, when you're ready to exit, just exit out of the chat and leave a comment. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, let's see. So we are on number, is this number 10 or was that number 9? I think that was number 9. Yeah, that was 9. So we are on 10. Okay, 10. All right, 10s. What do we have for you? 10s. There's a message for 10s. 10s. Okay, you have freedom. Freedom. All right. And courage. Courage at the bottom of the deck. Nice. Freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. So free yourself up from all the bullshit. That's what I see right here. Just like allow yourself for once to be just in that freaking like mode of like imagine what it would feel like. I do things like this a lot where I think like I try to think of like what because we all always say, oh, we want a peaceful world, or we want this, or, oh, if the world only had, and all these things. But I really do, like, spend time, like, trying to think and imagine. Like, this is one of my favorite things to do is, like, what if I woke up and, like, everything was different? This is like a game, like an imaginary game I play with myself, like in my head, right? So it's like, what if I woke up, like, the next day, and it's like, all of a sudden, everything was just different. Like, nothing mattered anymore. Like status doesn't matter. These like harsh rules don't matter. Like nothing like matters anymore. And I do think about that a lot. Like how freeing. Like it's not about money anymore. It's not about that children are starving anymore. It's just like nothing matters. It's like everything's like just done, and taken care of. And like, what would that feel like? I do things like that a lot to just kind of get into those different modes in myself, or, within my head, because I mean, this, especially that one, that's a good one, because we do, if you really think about it, we do have the capability to do that. I mean, we have so many intelligent advancements in so many things, in all kinds of sustainable energy, all kinds of interesting types of energy, whether or not it's available, all those types of things. I mean, the technology, the expertise, the agricultural expertise. I mean, we have all of the expertise in the world combined to solve everything. We truly do, but it's like, so imagine what it would be like to like kind of wake up to that, where it's like we didn't have to worry about those things anymore. So just I'm giving that in a sense to just give you that, like what it would feel like to not have any worries or anything like that. Freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. Okay? And you have courage at the bottom of the deck as well, which says, I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. Oh, that's a pretty card. That's a really cool one to snapshot and like trim around my thumb. Let's see if hopefully I'm getting that straight. Yeah, that's a good one. I love that mandala. That's really pretty. So yeah, I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. So yeah, just free yourself from all this freaking worries and bullshit and this and that, and like, what would it feel like to just have courage to do the things you want to do, right? Okay, let's see. Ooh, was that 11 or was that 10? Oh my god, I'm missing my shit. Oh, nice. Okay. I think we're on 11. I think. I don't know. So maybe if I do it twice, then you guys get 2 cards, but I think we're on 11. All right. 11. 11. Okay, what is the message for 11s, please? 11. For those who chose 11. Okay, so you guys have peace. All right, beautiful. I am a being of love, and I release all negative energy. So this would be a fantastic mantra for you at this time. I am a being of love, and I release all negative energy. And peace is the word that is your prompt, of like how to, whatever you pick this pile for, that's what you need. You need more peace in this area of your life. And how to do that is to realize that you are a being of love and release negative thoughts as much as possible. Be diligent. Don't just say, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And then tomorrow you wake up and you go to work and you're like pissed off and at your, annoying coworker. No, you have to make efforts, be diligent about this stuff. Diligent. So that's why I like, I hold the cards up for you to snapshot, because they serve as reminders, reminders of these things. So I feel like diligence should be here. I do feel that for whoever is for this pile. I feel like you got to stay diligent with this one. Also, you have judgment at the bottom of the deck, which says, I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenge. So that's like when we try not to form judgments about things and try to have more understanding that, everyone does have their own, unique path and their own challenges in life. Okay. So, we may not like certain people or the way they act, or we may want to judge them for certain things, but this is just saying no, it's not about judgment. It's about understanding that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. Okay. And last but not least, we have 12. Okay, 12. 12. What do we have for 12s? 12. Did anyone pick 12? I bet lots of people picked 7 and 11. Let's see if anybody picked 12. All right, what is the message for 12? Okay, you have forgiveness, okay, and patience at the bottom of the deck. So forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. Wow, that's very, very, I like that one. And I love the word, I don't love the word necessarily, but like the descriptive word they've chosen here of harboring. Because, yeah, it's like acknowledging that you are harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. So something that is very, very difficult sometimes for us to get through, because it's like, we can't, it's very easy to think that we have forgiven a situation or a person or something along those lines, but you'd be surprised at how we do, subtly still kind of hold on to it. And, I've noticed that within myself, it's like I've like made big declarations of forgiveness, or, to, like within my own situations of things I may be dealing with, or sometimes two people or what have you, but it's like still, there's always that like harboring kind of resentment, that's still there. So it's like really difficult to stay on top of that and realize that, well, it's not just easy to just say you forgive something or someone and that's done, because a lot of times that subtlety will still be there. So if we are truly going to forgive someone or something, in our lives, then again, like I was talking about the last read, diligence is important to stay on top of that. For instance, if it's a relationship thing and, there's a lot to be, that needs to be forgiven for, from someone, oh, damn, should I forgive them? And you do, and you decide to forgive them. Again, just by saying that you forgive them or thinking that you forgive them doesn't necessarily mean that you really have gotten to the nuts and bolts of the situation, and that you truly have, because you may be harboring like subtle resentment still. So like you forgive this person, then you get back together with them, but still like there's that underlying energy. So it's like when they even get close to doing something that like made you, put them in the position where you had to forgive them in the first place, even if they're nowhere towards doing that, but they get close to it, it's like that that's if that resentment resentment is still within, then you're going to jump to that right away. So it's like, that's why when we forgive, we really need to forgive and then give someone a clean slate, or give them our trust and higher energy that they will rise above these things too, and we'll both rise above, and you'll rise above the resentment, and all those types of things. So it's a lot of work, and a lot to stay diligent about. So forgiveness is your card. All right, so that wraps it up. That was the 12. It's a quick one tonight, and let's see, I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, also too, so for next Sunday, the next self-empowerment Sunday should be this next Sunday. It depends. Sometimes I do skip a week because it depends on how many orders I get through a week and how busy I am and all of that sort of thing, because it's not a big view thing for me on Sundays. I just do it because I feel like it's good stuff to get out there and hopefully start our Mondays with some good empowering type information. So if I do it this Sunday, I'm not sure, but the next one I would like to do where you guys just ask questions. So not like specific questions. I'm not talking about like I'm going to answer your tarot card questions or anything like that, but just ask questions or ask topics, or hey Molly, what do you think of this, or what do you want to ask about this? Not that it's just I don't want to make it just about like my opinion on these things necessarily, but let's take these subjects, just throw out some topics, some subjects, or what have you, and we'll just go with it and see what happens. So let's give that a shot, next Sunday, see if we can get anything from that, and feel free to, because it'll be a live chat thing. So, because I'll do it live. So you can add in things and we can kind of go back and forth and, all that kind of deal. So I'm interested in doing that. So if you have some ideas or you want some pre-questions to throw in that I'll bring up quickly, or topics or things that you were wondering about, anything, it's Self-Empowerment Sunday. So it doesn't really matter. Go ahead and send them in to me now. You can send them in at behindthelimb@gmail.com. And I'll get them ready for the next. I'll probably do it this Sunday, but again, it might be the one after that. All right, thanks guys. I enjoyed it. Thank you. If there's any mods here, thank you very much, and thanks everybody for participating. Don't forget, if you can leave a little comment on the video itself once you close out of here, I would really appreciate it. Thank you guys, and I'll see you soon. All right, bye.